What is up, guys? Welcome back to Disclosure Team. I'm your host, Vinny Adams. Following is an interview with Rony Vernet. Rony recently returned from an expedition to the Amazon to install a monitoring station to track UAP. These UAP have been reported by the local Indigenous tribes, and so Rony wanted to set up this equipment to try and capture some data. If you enjoy this content, please take a second to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want access to these interviews early, then I will now be uploading the full video interviews to my Patreon. Link is in the description, where you can go and see things before everybody else and also help support this channel, because it does take up a lot of time and it's definitely not free to produce this content. And I really appreciate all of the supporters that I have. I hope you enjoy this interview with Rony Vernet. So Rony, welcome back to Disclosure Team. Your second time here. How's things been?
Yeah, a lot of things happening. So I'm here to tell you what I passed in the last few weeks. It was a lot. Some things also in the Brazilian government, some new documents coming, new missions ahead. So maybe we can talk about what happened in the future, the next weeks. Yes.
Absolutely. I'm really excited for that. So this expedition, I've been following along and it's been really exciting, and this was with some indigenous tribes, am I right?
Yes, it was in an indigenous tribe, indigenous village located in the extreme northeast of Brazil, the border of Peru, and it's called the Yanawa tribe. It's a tribe that have never before any cases about UFOs, UAP there, any phenomena there. It's the first time. We had other cases that same state, same region in Peru and Brazil in the past, but this specific location was the first time, and this was so interested in that.
So how did you find out or hear about the things that were happening in such a remote place?
Yeah, the interesting things that we don't hear this in the mainstream media about these cases. We only hear it and only see it in the local media in the state of Acre, state of Amazonas, which are states located in the extreme north of Brazil. And fortunately, in 2020, I obtained many documents from Brazilian government about cases there. And at that time, I only knew about these cases because of this local journalists, local news media that was able to get information and publish it. And so because of that, I had the idea to put some FOIA requests here to get some information from Brazilian government. So I obtained many documents. And when I obtained these documents, many journalists started to call me to ask how I did obtain it, what this document was about. So this is where my networking with these journalists happening started in 2020, and because of that network with these journalists, I could be able to receive a call in May, beginning of May of this year, some months ago, 2 months ago, to 3 months, and they said, Rony, it's happening here. It's happening in another village, never happened before there. These luminous orbs in many types, orange, white, sometimes multicolored orbs, are descending near the ground, near the houses of the people, sometimes inside the house of the people. And this is what piqued my interest in discover more, find out more about these cases. And I asked them to put me in contact with the indigenous chief of this village. I wanted to hear directly from him what he was witnessing there. So this is where I started.
That's amazing. Really interesting stuff. This has been happening, and it's like you said, it's gone unseen by mainstream media. It's really great that you are actually able to make connections and sort of bring this to light. So tell us about the project. You'd obviously got in contact with the indigenous chief and made arrangements, I assume, to go and spend time there. So what did you intend to do first of all?
Yes, when I talked with the indigenous chief, he told me about a case where he encountered had a close encounter with an orange orb there, because at that time he thought that it was drones. So they said for the people, when the first time the indigenous chief heard about it, he was in the United States in some indigenous encounters between international tribes and so on, United Nations, this stuff and so on. And so he said he ordered for this man, oh, you can shut it down because it's not allowed to have drones on our village. So get this. It's not like powerful shotguns. It's like small rifles, okay? But they have these guns, these weapons, kind of weapons. So he ordered the man of the village to try to get it down with this object. And it was impossible for them because when they thought to go get the object to try to shot, the object immediately, instantaneously was far away. So this was not possible to get close pictures because of that. When people thought to get the camera or try to focus on the object, it's gone. Uh, they suspected it was not a normal drone because it was object that sometimes people focus on the object going up and stayed up, far away up, like 3 hours, 4 hours. And when people go sleep, people forget about that. They send it again, like a cat and mouse thing, right? So many people criticize, oh, why you don't take pictures if these orbs are going inside the house of the people? It's because of that behavior. Because when people, for example, I heard a lot of people say that he or she was seeing a orb side of my vision. It was there, and when people turns their head to focus or to look the orb was gone. So it's something that was not liking, not desiring to be observed, and neither to be pictured. So this is why we don't have close pictures taken by indigenous, only far away when this object goes far, when they people focus on it. So the chief was suspecting that this was not normal drones. People was not able to get it down, and he tried himself when he arrived again the tribe a few weeks later, and he make videos and of observations, stay alert all the night, many nights. And one night he was successful to get closer to it, and when he was trying to shut it down, he felt his body inflating like a balloon, something like that. He became paralyzed, all muscles, and he cannot be able to pull the trigger of the rifle. Okay, and at that moment, he said to me that this orange orb expanded very fast, increasing size, and collapsed. And when collapsed, it's gone. It's not something like was a light that turned off. No, it expanded and collapsed. And when collapsed, it became so small that it disappeared. And this piqued more and more my interest about that. After heard this directly from the indigenous chief, I said, "Oh, I need to go there tomorrow to this village." So I did a crowdsource here in Brazil, a crowdsource internationally, and I could get some money to buy the tickets and go to the village. I think in 1 week after he counted me about that, he told me that I was able to get to the village. And so I was expecting, I was not expecting when I went there to witness any phenomena, because I was not going at the exactly time when it's happening. I was going 1 to 2 weeks after the facts, but I was planning to put, it was my was a good option, a good opportunity, a unique opportunity to install equipment to monitor there 24 hours per 7 days a week. So this was my main goal out there: get interviews, get data from people that saw the phenomena, and install equipment to try to see something. And when since the first day that I was there, I was very impressed because I was witnessing phenomena myself, and I was not expecting that. So this is how it started, how what was interested to do there.
That's interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely get to the things that you witnessed there. But let's talk about this monitoring equipment. Is it something that you've used before and placed in other areas within maybe like your local town in Rio or around the area?
Yeah, I have a very good experience in cameras. So I have installed in other places here in Brazil. Near my hometown in Rio, we have a rural area. So to people be aware, these things in Brazil do not happen in the big cities. No chance to have. So when you see, oh, there is a flying saucer that was photographed in the capital of south of Brazil, like I'm seeing days ago in Twitter and other places, probably it's not a phenomenon. It's like a solar balloon, a custom drone or something like. Because if you start to see these things in capital big cities, we'll have big problems because it's not normal. So something different is happening. So this only happens in Brazil in isolated places, mountain ranges areas, forests, jungles, um, places that are very well preserved, rural areas where don't have many houses. And this is the behavior of the phenomena here in Brazil. So I installed cameras. I have cameras here in a rural area near Rio where this happens a lot. It's a hot spot called Serra da Beleza. When I witness myself many things and already getting video, many things. And I have all sky cameras. I have high resolution regular cameras. I have PTZ, that's motorized cameras with optical zoom. We can get some more details. So I had a lot of experience with cameras and some experience with sensors to try to get information about this phenomenon, like magnetometers, accelerometers, this normal stuff that we see in the sensors area. And I had the opportunity to bring to Amazon a new experiment. It was experiment from the Brazilian Center for Research in Physics. I'm a researcher there also, not in UFOs, but in cosmic rays and high energy physics, artificial intelligence, and so on. But since cosmic rays is basically ionizing radiation, which is something that we see often in UFO cases, I thought it was a good opportunity to bring this equipment there to measure not only cosmic rays, but also maybe UFO radiation characteristics. So I convinced my supervisor, it's a Dr. Andre Massaferi. He's also from CERN, and he was able to get a very good piece of equipment to bring there to measure this radiation. So a very expensive experiment that I bring there, also with the cameras and other sensors. So this is what I planned to bring there, and that is installed there.
So let's talk about the actual journey into the Amazon, because this is like a remote area. So how was the planning, preparation, and how was the journey itself? Give us an idea of how difficult it may have been.
Yeah, it's 5 hours from airplane from Rio, where I live. There is no flights going directly there. You have to go to the capital of Brazil to get another plane to get there. Only two flights per day, one in the morning, one in the night. And after that, you need to get 8 hours by car to get to the point where you get a boat, because you only it's possible to get on the village, Indigenous village, using a boat going through the river. So you get 8 hours by car, and depending of the conditions of the river, the travel may have a length of 6 to 8 hours by boat. And we are not calling about very comfortable boats. We are calling it like a canoe or something like that, because we are passing right now a historical low level in the rivers of Amazon, and we only able to do this travel using very small boats. Not comfortable, very difficult. A lot of times I had to descend get out of the boat to pull it, to push it against a sandbank, because a lot of sandbanks, a lot of trees that was falling down in the river. Very bad situation. So very difficult travel. The road, this 8 hours by car, is very bad. Is I was joking that's the worst road of Brazil, and probably one of the worst roads in the road. um, so very difficult. A lot of I had a lot of preoccupation with safety and other things like that, because it's not very simple. But nothing that we cannot do with careful. Just need to be more careful. Get a good car, get the right boat, the right captain of the boat, and everything happened like not like planned, because my one of my tires exploded when I was in the travel because of these craters they have in the road. Um, but I because of that I lost one day in the doing the maintenance of the vehicle. But after that the things went okay, and I had the opportunity to during this travel in the boat in the Amazon to spend one night in a very isolated beach to try to see something. It was not possible to see, but a very very good experience to be like in the like series of Lost. I was in the middle of nothing, in a beach in the middle of the river in the Amazon, um, lay down in the sand in some leaves to sleep. So it was very crazy and very good, but no phenomena at that point.
That is dedication to take such a journey. So you arrive at the village. Tell us about the setup where you're actually going to set the monitoring station up, because I imagine they obviously have some form of electricity to be able to keep it going. So what was the initial setup preparation like?
Yeah, they have a good infrastructure. They have these people, indigenous people, receive a lot of help in Brazil and internationally. So they have a good infrastructure made by solar panels. So the electricity is all from solar panels. Uh, so this is what I use it to get the source of energy, and I brought a Starlink antenna to communicate for me to send the data for me here when I come back in Rio. So I right now receiving all this data. What's very important, and this is the infrastructure that I receive. But when I started all this equipment, because I started not only the cameras, not only the sensor, I started a computer a notebook. I started two big monitors to the chief and other people see what was happening there. I installed antennas, so not only Starlink but antennas to receive and transmit data about the phenomena in the forest, like we see in Skinwalker Ranch and other places. So a lot of equipment, and this increased the amount of energy needed there. So the panels started to have some failures, and right now the indigenous chief is making some improvements to try to recover that state, because sometimes the station is being offline, depend of the demand, and they use and I'm not calling about, I'm not telling you about a installation that is located in the indigenous village. This installation is located far away from indigenous village in the middle of the jungle, in an area that they only use for shamanic rituals. It's like 2 miles from the village. So, and where is the phenomenon? Why it started there? Because it's the place where the phenomenon is manifesting more. This is the place where the chief had this close encounter with this orange orb. It was not in the village; it was in the shamanic center, what they called it. So there, the issues with energy are more concerning. So they are trying to. The chief promised me he'll try to improve the installation with a generator and something like that to maintain the station in a steady state. And it's important because at this area they conserve the ayahuasca. It's the herb they use for the rituals. So much more important than my experiment is the ayahuasca, but do not stop the ceremonies, the rituals there. So we are trying to put all these things together and make it available with energy available to run out everything without have some problems with the culture or the habits of the impacting the habits of the indigenous people there.
And so these indigenous people, they obviously, historically, the folklore surrounding their belief systems, have they given you any kind of thoughts on what they believe these orbs represent?
Yes, they use the ayahuasca, and they don't. Important to say, they don't use ayahuasca every day. They use ayahuasca only in the festivals and ceremonies. It's like 1 to 2 times a month, and they have a preparation to do it. So when they are cooking the ayahuasca tea, they have like a ceremony to do that, a lot of preparation, so something they demand weeks of preparation until they do the ayahuasca ceremony, because people say, oh, they are consuming ayahuasca and seeing things, seeing phenomena that doesn't exist. It's psychedelics. The Brazilian Federal Police say that on a document that I obtained in 2020. No, it's all ayahuasca. And after that, they sent some anthropologists and they saw the same thing. So it was not in fact ayahuasca. So important to say that. And their culture, they use the ayahuasca to connect them to the other realm, the realm of the spirits of the forest, the realm of the guardians of the forest. This is what they believe. They believe that there's a forest is a portal to many types of beings that can come in and out and communicate with them, but only when they use ayahuasca. It's not normal for them to have something appearing like luminous orbs and something like that in our world, their world, three-dimensional world here. And this is make this very afraid because it's not normal. They never witnessed that before. It never happened, as I said, in that village. We have other cases in other indigenous peoples, and this for them this is not normal, not normal to have this phenomena there. This is what they believe in the culture.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Now, you mentioned that on your first night there, you were privy to witnessing something strange. Can you tell us about how that happened and what were you doing, and lay it out for us if you don't mind?
Yeah, the first day it was a day of adaptation. I arrived in the morning, started to know the people there, to get the trust of the people because I wanted to interview them. So it was important to make a good connection. And so I had not a lot of time to prepare things. So the only thing that I brought at the night was my cell phone and a tripod to try to register something. In the second day, yes, I start to put more equipment, but in the first day it was very simple. And the first day, it was the day when uh, the only day that I heard sounds, strange sounds in the forest, like poltergeist events, poltergeist phenomena there. Um, Sounds mainly of like furniture or heavy beds, metallic beds, being metallic furniture being pulled and pushed against a ground, like a wood ground, making very, very uh, strong sounds that was not possible to have in the middle of the forest. No explanation for that. And this only happened in the first day at night when we started the observations. And it was triggered by an action by me, because I was with some indigenous boys, and the interesting things that in the first day many indigenous boys approached me and said, Rony, can I go with you to observe the phenomena? I'm curious about it. I said, sure, come with me, let's go. So I was with these boys. There they have some lamps in this place, because they don't use this place, but they put these lights on there, and it was not good to observe the phenomenon with these lights. We want everything in the dark to see, because if some uh, dimmed low luminous orb appear, we can see that without have our vision polluted with all light. So I said for them, please turn off these lights as possible. Let's turn off, okay? And they was going to turn off the lights. When they was going, we started to see this sound, the strange sounds of being furnitures being scratched against the ground, like closets, big closets being pulled, and they run it scary back and said, oh, no way, they don't want us to turn off the lights. And I say, no, try to ask for excuse me, no problem, just want to turn the lights, we don't want to make anything bad. And again, they heard a sound of like a big animal that was not happy with them. It's what they heard. They run it back again, and after that I went with them there and asking for this, excuse me, let's go, trying to make something better. I didn't know what was doing, not expert in poltergeist events. So but I had no explanation about that, so I was trying to communicate with this phenomenon that was very weird. So I asked for excuse me, I'm here to make good things, okay? And we was able to turn the lights off, and everything was calm and okay from that. But I asked for them, for indigenous boys, to investigate the houses, because they have small houses, very small houses there, to accommodate people when they have these festivals. But don't, no one lives there. But it's like abandoned houses, and one house they don't use. It was house that was abandoned, very, very dirty, with a lot of things that, for example, if a people abandon the house today and let everything when the situation that it was before it leaves, you can see a chair, you can see a luggage that's abandoned in the ground. You can see many, many, many accessories in the ground. It's a very, very, very scary abandoned house, like a terror movie house. And I, I had the feeling that I heard this sound coming from this house, so I wanted to visit that. And I visit all the houses. And when I entered this specific house, I sensed a feeling of extreme fear. All my hairs of my body was pulled up, and the indigenous felt the same. And the more I entered the house, the more I had this feeling of fear. And I had the impression that temperature decreases a lot, like 10 degrees. And this what I never felt before. And I made the same ritual that was doing, oh, excuse me, I'm here to do good things, okay, everything's okay. And after that, I entered this house many times and never felt this again. And in the other nights, I never heard the sound again. So my interpretation was that maybe, I don't know, a phenomena that was seeing me like an invader, uh, and was trying to get me out of there, trying to scare me. I don't know. It's a hypothesis that I put. But the fact is, after that, in the other nights, anything happened anymore, like the phenomenon accepted me to be there. I don't know. So this when I started to witnesses the other types of phenomena there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Couple of things you mentioned there really reminded me of some of the experiences and things that have happened at Skinwalker Ranch. And so let's move on a couple of days. You've got the monitoring station up and running. Like on Skinwalker Ranch, did you see any technical issues that you couldn't explain?
Yes, I have a lot of cameras that was disabled in the exact time when the phenomenon was appearing. I have the cameras that installed in the same energy source, same video recorder, and sometimes one of them was disabled only in the time frame when the phenomena appeared. So it was something that acted exactly at that one camera that was pointed to and able to get more detailed information about the phenomenon, because we have other cameras filming other details, but this one was in front of the phenomenon and disabled only that camera. So I think that very, very strange. We have also, when the phenomenon was passing there, when I was there, we have radio communications in a frequency that we don't use, the indigenous people don't use there. We had lights blinking, all in the same time, lights blinking. We had the cell phone, when trying to film it from cell phone blocked, was not able to use the cell phone. One indigenous boy was paralyzed one night while trying to witness a luminous cloud that appeared. And this is what I witnessed that was very weird there. Sometimes I try to, interesting also, sometimes I record the phenomena there, and when I sit in the chair to put the playback to see what was recorded, only that camera had the playback blocked for me in the software. I was not able to see exactly that camera that recorded the phenomena. After that, it worked, but it happens a lot. I sit in the chair. Let's play back the phenomena. Only the camera that recorded the phenomena was disabled at that moment. Not disabled to record because it recorded, but disabled to do the playback. So it was very weird also.
It is, and it's definitely something that we've heard many, many times in UFO cases. So that is extremely interesting. There's two other instances that I'd like to talk to you about. The first one is this video of this object in the sky that sort of comes downwards and kind of almost does like a zigzag.
Yes, important to say that the zigzag pattern is the movement of the camera, not from the phenomena. Okay, it was a camera that I was tracking the phenomena manually, so I put in a lot of zoom on it. And when you have a lot of zoom, any move of the camera, because a motorized camera, any movement makes the object make jumps. So whenever you see a jump, it's not the phenomena, it's the camera that's moving to try to accompany, because it's moving in direction to the jungle, to the forest. So I have a lot of zoom. So every time I need to put more and more movement to the camera to try to track it and put in the center of the image. So this is why that's the reason of these jumps and zigzags that you see on this footage. Okay.
And were you able to use any kind of apps on your cell phones to monitor what's actually in the sky at that time, whether it be any kind of anything in space, meteors, anything like that? Were you able to kind of cancel that out?
The good thing is that that place is a very isolated place, so we don't have many airplanes there. So we see the flight radar was clean all the times. We see the phenomena. The it was very close objects. So the only possibility is like to be drones or airplanes. I don't have any other explanation beside that because we were seeing very, very close because it was in front of the forest. And the front of the forest, that direction is like 300 meters from us. So a very, very small distance. So these are the only explanations, and I don't think it's drones because it's a very remote place. And as I said, sometimes these drones was up in the air, very up in the air for 2 to 3 to 4 hours. And when you get this image in close zoom, the phenomena, it's not like drones. Uh, it, it may be airplane, but airplane was excluded from the flight radar and other observations that we did with the softwares. So I don't have explanation about what was recorded.
Do you have any plans to have any kind of further analysis done on the video by any outside kind of groups or organizations?
Yes, I'm sharing it with a lot of people to get many impressions, what they see, and I hope to have this feedback to the community soon about what the the the, the opinions of many peoples about that. And also I have not only the image, but I have the sensors. So I'm doing a lot of analysis from the sensors to see if we have any anomalies about the phenomena that was filmed. This is something that would corroborate the and complement the analysis of the images.
Now, the next one I'd like to talk about was something I found extremely fascinating. And these were I think it was not one light that shone down, but am I right in saying there's two lights that are suddenly captured shining down into the forest?
Yes, I witnessed four types of phenomena there. The first one was like two objects that moved together, and the object in the front blinked, pulsed, big orange light. This one type of phenomenon. This is the phenomenon that do like a surveillance around the 360 around the village. It never passes in the middle of the village, but it comes around, 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 and going in and out of the jungle at that direction. Other phenomena is orange orbs, but not blinking, just a single continuous orb, like a ball of fire moving through the forest. And this sometimes appears in the house of the people. This was the one that the chief tried to shoot. Sometimes it appears on top of the house of the people, sometimes inside. The third one I witnessed was a luminous fog or a luminous cloud that became dense and formed like a shape of a hand, like this one that was pointing in the direction of the forest, exactly where the phenomena was coming in and out every day. This one that was paralyzed the indigenous boy when he tried to get the binocular to see it in more detail. This one that makes at the same time the poltergeist phenomenon of radio communication, cell phone blocked, lights blinking, and all this stuff. And the fourth one, I was not, I didn't witness, but I recorded in my equipment because I had lived the indigenous village. And this one for me is that one that I have more data because it appeared exactly above the house where the equipment are installed, very close. It was a phenomena that simply appeared in the air, and I know that because I have the all sky camera. It didn't go from any direction. It simply appeared at that location. The phenomenon was intelligent enough to not appear above the all sky camera to be filmed by that. It appeared right below because to have an idea how the equipment was installed, I had this all sky camera located in a 5 meters high water reservoir from that location. And I have another camera 3 meters, 2 meters below this one, 3 meters, a regular camera. And the phenomenon appeared exactly between these two. So this phenomenon was not able to be filmed by any of these two cameras. They appeared exactly in the 4 meter height in the air, right above the house where I put the equipment. We can see it approaching because we hear that humming sound, that classical UFO humming sound, like a machine, like whoa, a very low frequency. I have this audio data that will be very important in the future. I'll show you there in the future, because we know that the specific frequency, you know the harmonics, so it corroborates other data in the past about other UFO cases with that exactly frequency. And this light turned on a focus of light, and started to scan all the forest, all the village at that area where the equipment was installed. This luminous focus we can observe in many cameras. We cannot only observe this source of emission that was this UAP that was there, because of that position that get between two cameras. And this object we can see in the movie, searching all the village, all the forest. It turns all the lights off, and after that he sends another light beam. It's a rectangular light beam, like a rectangular luminous window on the ground, exactly on the only camera that I filmed the ground of the village. All my cameras film the sky, the jungle, and this is the only camera that films the ground, and logically the horizon of the village, with the jungle, etc. But it films the ground, and this camera capture this image of this rectangular window that was immediately directed in the frame where the camera was filming. So I don't think it was a coincidence. Maybe it was the phenomena wanted to put it there, because jungle is very, very far. So the probability to have phenomena appear exactly where the house of the equipment is started, and emit a rectangular window exactly when the camera was filming the ground, I don't think it's a coincidence. And he put this luminous rectangular window, and from there, if you see frame by frame in slow motion, you can see an object exactly coming out of this rectangular window, from this rectangular window, from the ground, don't know. But it's not something some people say, oh, it's a flashlight focus that was illuminating. No, because you can see exactly this object coming out and becoming bigger, 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 until it is out of this rectangular window. And this object is like a tic-tac shape or oval shape, luminous thing. I cannot say if it's physical, it's a hologram, what is that? What I can say is that is a very, very dense luminosity, and you can see the what is behind that luminosity. The shape is very irregular, so it's not a shape like an oval, perfect oval shape, like a lantern that's being put on the ground or something like that. It's like when you see the sun, that you see these strange rays coming in the contour of the sun. You can see this object. This object comes out, it searches like a search or scan in the front of the house of the equipment are installed, and the phenomena is back, when it's back in the back to this luminous window, and disappears. When in the second trip that is returning, it was much more defined and much more luminous than in the first trip that he get in the front of the house. So this is something that don't corroborate the hypothesis that it could be a lantern or something like, because it's irregular. It's not a regular shape. It's not a regular luminosity. It's something that is changing constantly, something that is alive, dynamically alive. So this is what happens, and this oval phenomena enters again in these luminous windows and then disappears. The entire thing is that exactly the moment when this oval UAP enters these rectangular windows and disappear, if you get the sound spectra of the forest, we can see the nature being silenced exactly at that moment when the phenomena disappear. And this is impossible because the Amazon jungle have thousands, millions of animals in that area that sings continuously and form like a heartbeat of the Amazon. You can see perfectly from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. All these animals singing together, forming like a 3 kilohertz frequency, very regular, from 3 to 4 kilohertz. And it's not possible to stop that. You need to stop all the animals from chanting at the same time to have this silenced. And this only happens when this phenomena entered and disappeared seconds after this main phenomena up there disappears also. So this was very, very strange. And we have logically the this phenomena happened, appeared in front of the house where the equipment was installed, and we have many sensors that recorded things. We started to analyze to see, try to comprehend what was that.
And so, if you had any of the local indigenous tribes members approaching the buildings and that, would the cameras pick them up, and so you'd be able to see them to know that it's them?
Yes, we have cameras filming in all directions, so it was not possible to not see something approaching, a people or a phenomena, a drone. And as I said, this phenomena that appeared above, did not come from anywhere because I could capture it in other cameras, mainly in the sky camera, and I don't have explanation.
No, that's really interesting. Just again, because people will throw out the torchlight, the flashlight thing, and but if there's no people there, then obviously that can't be the explanation. So
These are people very lazy because they don't have to do they don't want to do the job to get this footage, analyze it frame by frame, because if you analyze frame by frame, you will see details that excludes all these possibilities. These is people that simply see 5 seconds of the footage. They don't even see the whole thing and say, "Oh no, flashlights. Oh, it's okay. It's case closed."
yeah, very frustrating indeed. So what do you have like planned for the timeline for this particular monitoring station? Is it going to be a permanent fixture, or are you giving it a 6 or 12 month timescale and then reassessing it?
It's a permanent. It will be the Amazon station, the first one, permanent. I hope it. I don't have any special man labor there to do the maintenance, so I trained some boys to do basic, very basic level maintenance, configuration, so on. So I hope this configuration maintains a lot of time, because if I need to get some technicians specialized to go there, it will be very expensive. Hopefully I have some support. Now I'm a researcher from NHR from Australia, that's helping this first mission. I will help others, and maybe they could help us also with the support of the equipment to maintain it most time as possible. But the main idea is to have it permanently there. And I already negotiated with the indigenous chief to let this equipment there, because he's also interested to have this image, because in other incidents, UFO incidents in Amazon, the first time the government says is, "Oh, it's ayahuasca, it's not nothing." They are having confusion, mental confusions. They don't believe the indigenous people. So when we have this data of sensors and images, we are helping them to prove for the government that something's coming, something's happening.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I know that you spoke in front of the Brazilian Congress, am I right, in 2022? So do you have a good relationship with people within the government?
Yes, and in 2022, I talked exactly about this case in Amazon. So it opened the eyes of a lot of people in the government. I have contact with senators, and we are preparing a letter that will be issued this month to the Minister of Defense and commanders about the UFO phenomenon, to try to establish some relationship to get more information. And in this letter will be mentioned also these recent cases in Amazon. So I hope this could help things move further.
That's incredible. I'm such a big proponent for people going out, putting boots on the ground, and actually doing the work to try and get data to be able to kind of shed more light on the mysteries surrounding the UAP UFO phenomena. So, massive congratulations to yourself. This is obviously takes up a lot of your time. You're also, you've got a life outside of this. But do you have any other future plans within the UFO world to do anything else?
Yeah, we have. I release tomorrow a batch of documents about the Brazilian governments of 2023. Basically, these documents are uh, papers that pilots sent to the Air Force about cases that they saw in the air during these flights. Commercial pilots, military pilots. We have today in Brazil a law that demands all the pilots to send and the Air Force to receive and register all these incidents and release it every year. So I receive it on the Friday these documents, and I release it on Monday for everyone who want to see what these pilots are seeing. It's one thing I'm doing. The second mission in Amazon is being scheduled probably in September to October, and Ross Coulthard want to be there with News Nation. It's something we're trying to arrange. Okay. And other stations also. We are planning other places in Brazil, like with different environments, because Brazil is a country with a continental area, so we have many different types of environments here. We have mountains, we have jungles, we have beaches, and we try to select places to put other equipment where we have these hot spots in other areas in Brazil.
That's incredible. Where is the best place where people can follow and keep up to date with everything that you're working on?
Yeah, in English, I recommend the X, the former Twitter, x.com/Rony Vernet. But I also have videos in YouTube. Maybe you can use the automatic translation because I publish more often in Portuguese there for the Brazilian public. But you can use the YouTube tools to translate this and maybe see what is being transmitted. And I have also the Instagram.com, Rony Vernet, and other all the social media maybe can people access, but I recommend more the X for people that talks English.
Fantastic. I will make sure that all of the links that you mentioned there are in the description of the video. And finally, I've got a couple of questions that people have sent in from X. So the first one is from Ronak, and he says, have any research groups reached out to you to help with the investigation in the Amazon?
A lot, a lot. I hope to disclose something in the future, but a lot of groups, many employment scientists people are interested on that. And I hope to. I think this topic is all about shared data. So more we share, and I'm receiving a lot of data from others, and try to see if we have any patterns in the phenomena between Brazil, US, Europe, Asia, and so on. So many people around the world are approaching me, and I'm trying to collaborate with all these people.
That is so encouraging. I'm really pleased to hear that. The final question here comes from Strafe. He asks, the Amazon has many tribes. Are the tribes sharing similar stories?
I think we don't know the majority because we simply don't receive the news. As I said, we only knew these cases because I had this relationship with these journalists, but I think it's a global phenomena. And I think in Brazil, we have a lot of this phenomena happening because we have very isolated populations. In Brazil, it's a very huge country with a lot of preserved nature and a lot of indigenous territories. So I think it's happening maybe now of them, and we simply don't know. But we have a lot of cases mainly appearing in this Acre state in the border of Peru. Is the hotspot that I could tell. Maybe it's not a good statistics because we simply don't know the total because the information don't arrive for us, don't come for us. But today, what we know is that this hotspot is the Acre state near border of Peru, where I visited, where we have right now three indigenous peoples: the Ashaninka, the Hunicuin, and the Yanawa. This third one that was visited. So this tree was visited in 2014, 2016, and now this Yawanawa in this year.
Well, it's like you said before, with more and more organizations sharing data and information with you, that maybe we will start seeing more similarities and patterns that have been reported from other remote areas. So, we can only hope.
And one thing very important happened because when I started to talk with the chief, I said for him, do you know the indigenous chief from Ashaninka? Do you know the indigenous chief from Huniquin? Meet them and talk with them about UFO. So we can say that we had the first UFO conference between indigenous chiefs happening in the world that happened in June. with these three indigenous chiefs, where they share experiences about cases in the past with this Yanawa chief, about people that was affected by light beings in the past, people that was knocked unconsciousness by light beings, people that tried to shoot down this phenomena and was received a light beam and became unconsciousness. And this everything motivated the Yanawa people to move from a attack or fight against this phenomena to a contact. Even more because the indigenous chief didn't receive a light beam. If the phenomena wants, he could disrupt him with a light beam, but it only paralyzed him. And after that event, the chief said that maybe it could be a neutral or benevolent phenomena because it didn't want to cause any damage with him. And different from other places in Amazon, this is the first time that no people received a light beam emitted by this phenomena. So maybe the things are changing there.
Very interesting indeed. Wow. So interesting. Well, listen, Rony, it's been an absolute pleasure as always talking to you, my friend. I wish you all the best in every endeavor that you do, and I look forward to seeing all the results that you bring to us in the future. And once again, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for invitation. Thank you very much for the audience that you see this interview. And I'm here. I'm ready to to respond all the questions for you. If you have any questions, please send me by the social media from X, from YouTube, and other media. Okay.
Wonderful. Will do. Thank you so much, Rony. Take care. And to everyone watching, as always, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one. But for now, take care and goodbye.